So you want to buy a laptop that costs around $2,000. This is the most confusing budget, cause there are so many options available in this price range. But don't worry, we got you. We bring you today the 5 best laptops that you can buy for under $2,000. We have chosen these laptops to fit different kinds of needs. Without any further ado, let's get into it. At number 1 on the list is Razer Blade 15. This laptop is a beast hiding in a slim, minimal-looking body. The laptop comes with a 15.6 Full HD thin bezel display and the display refresh rate is over 300 frames per second. Can you believe it? On the inside, there is an 8-core 10th Gen Intel Core i7-10875H processor that provides the ultimate level of performance with up to 5.1 GHz max turbo, 16 GB RAM and 512 GB SSD. The laptop comes with an RTX 2070 Super Max Q. Although there is a version of this same laptop with an RTX 2080 Super inside. That will cost you over $2,000 margin. But worry not, RTX 2080 Super will get your job done just fine. Anything you want to do, gaming, 3D software, video editing, animation, you say it. The CNC aluminum unibody frame houses incredible performance in the most compact footprint possible, while remaining remarkably durable and just 0.7 thin. So no compromise there. The green Razer logo on the back and the RGB keyboard are there if you want a touch of RGB in your setup. Although there are some things that I want to mention. I think you've already guessed it. Yes, the aluminum body generates more heat than usual. If you are gaming or doing some heavy graphic intensive work, I don't think you can do things like these while operating it on your lap. So I suggest you get an external cooling system based laptop stand. The speakers of this laptop are bad. I don't think you can rely on the speaker, headphones must. The battery life is somewhere around 3 hours. Not bad for a gaming laptop, but for a mobile workstation means you will need to carry a charger wherever you go. I solved it by using a 100W USB-C charger for moving around instead of the bulky 230W original charger, but you won't be able to achieve peak. Number 2 on the list is GIGABYTE AORUS 15P XD. Comes with a 15.6 FHD IPS anti-glare 240 Hz display. So when you go over 1500 margin, almost all of the laptops come with a higher refresh rate. The higher refresh rates help with gaming if you are into a first-person shooter. Every frame matters. But if you are not a gamer, that's fine. The higher refresh rates give you a smooth viewing experience. Moving on the inside, there is an Intel Core i7-11800H running the show. To give you over 240 frames per second you have an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 graphics card. So if you are someone who was waiting for a 30 series graphics card and couldn't get your hands on one of these bad boys due to graphics card shortage, well, now you have one. This is the laptop GPU 8GB GDDR6, 16GB memory, 1TB SSD. Pretty impressive specs. Bang for the buck. The design is not too aggressive. Just the AORUS logo on the back and the RGB keyboard. What surprised me the most is the over 4 hours battery life. Cause with all the high-end hardware and 240 Hz display running constantly. So one thing I want to mention is that the color profile of this laptop is not the best. If you are someone who edits videos or photos or does graphics related work, color accuracy is really important for you. I suggest you look into other options on the list. Number 3 on the list is OMEN 15. So here are the specs for this laptop: 15.6-inch diagonal Full HD IPS anti-glare micro edge WLED backlit display, 1920x1080, with 300 Hz refresh rate and 3 milliseconds response time, 78% screen to body ratio. 10th generation Intel, R, Core, TM, i7-10750H, 6 core, 2.6 GHz base frequency, up to 5 GHz with Intel R Turbo Boost technology. 32 GB DDR4-2933 MHz SDRAM, 2x 16 GB, 2 accessible memory slots, and 512 GB PCIe, R, NVMe, TM, M.2 SSD, 2 accessible M.2 slots. Which is pretty sweet for this price range. The RAM is 32 gigs built in and you can expand up to 64 is very tempting. Full size, island style, 4-zone RGB backlit, shadow black keyboard, numeric keypad, and 26-key rollover anti-ghosting key technology. WASD keys are outlined to highlight key gaming controls. I like the design. This is not the usual hinge, but the joint is actually in the middle instead of the usual joint on both sides of the screen. Gives a little bit more height. This laptop is one of the best gaming laptops that you will find out there. Aside from gaming, you can do all the heavy tasking. Video editing, music producing, 3D rendering. Now there's something that I like to talk about this laptop. Like the speakers are really bad. I don't know what's it with the expensive laptops. The speakers are bad on almost all the devices. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the cooling of this device is not that efficient. It gets really hot from time to time. But you know what to do when it gets hot. Great device for the price. Moving on to the fourth position on the list is Alienware M15R3. The laptop comes with a 15.6-inch FHD display with a 7 milliseconds response time, 800:1 contrast ratio, 144 Hz refresh rate, and 300 nit brightness. The refresh rate is a lot less than the other ones on the list. Although I wouldn't mind, cause anything over 144 adds very little in terms of the viewing experience in my opinion. I like the aesthetic of this laptop very much. Especially the white variant. With the ambient lighting, it looks fantastic in the dark. The processor is 5.1 GHz Core i7-10750H. 16 GB of RAM and 512 GB of SSD storage. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060 6GB GDDR6 graphics card. I think for the price, this laptop does not offer as much as the other ones on the list. But if you can get this on a sale, then it might be worth looking into. Otherwise, it is kind of overpriced, but it is definitely a slick looking device, not gonna lie. The body is built from aluminium. No compromisation there. At just 4.65 pounds and under 20.5 millimeters, the Alienware M15 is the thinnest laptop in Alienware history, even lighter and leaner than the previous M15. At number 5 we have Dell Vostro 5510. So this is the only laptop on the list that is classified as a business class laptop. So fancy features like higher refresh rate display, RGB, and powerful GPU is out of the question. Instead, this laptop has a massive 64 GB of RAM, 1 TB SSD storage. That's huge. Imagine how many PowerPoint files you can store, open and close in an instant. The processor of this laptop is the newest from Intel, the 1th Gen Intel Core i7-11370H processor. I told you no fancy graphics card, but there is a dedicated graphics card for doing some minor graphics related tasks and making the experience a little smoother. The graphics card this laptop has is a GeForce MX450 graphics card with 2 GB GDDR5. 2 GB DDR5, not so shabby. The display of this laptop is 15.6-inch FHD, 1920x1080, anti-glare LED backlight non-touch display, narrow border, wide viewing angle, 1920x1080. The display has a very thin bezel, which is always a good thing. The web camera is not the greatest, but it gets the job done. Now for a laptop that identifies itself as a business class device, the battery should last more than 4 hours in my opinion. But this one lasts about 2 to 3 hours depending on your usage. 2x USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A, 1x Thunderbolt 4, DP/power delivery, 1x HDMI 1.4, 1x headphone/microphone combo jack, 1x SD card reader, 1x RJ45, HD, 720p, webcam with privacy shutter and dual array digital microphones, HD audio with dual stereo speakers by Waves Max Audio Pro, backlit keyboard with numeric keypad, fingerprint reader on power button, Intel Wi-Fi 6.2x2, Gig Plus, and Bluetooth 5 combo. Although you get RAM more fast storage, I still think the price is a bit high, considering the graphics card is very low profile. Other than that, it's great for business uses.